You're listening to Achtung Millwall, broadcasting from the beautiful South Bermondsey. Accept no substitute.
Hello dear listeners, welcome to part 2 of Achtung 659 in the wake of that magnificent home win last night, 1-0 versus Leicester City. Table-topping Leicester City, ex-Premier League champions Leicester City, moneybags Leicester City, blah 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 blah. Talk about an unexpected victory, dear listeners. We've had a torrid old week on the Millwall scene, haven't we? We had that awful display last Monday, Easter Monday at Rotherham. Complete shambles of a performance, I thought, there. And then at times an unfortunate, combined with mishap, loaded trip to Huddersfield on Saturday. Either way, we've got beaten by the two worst teams in our division, certainly in Rotherham's case, for some years. And it's very, very Millwall to combine those two poor performances, shall we call them, with to come out, off the bottom of the deck, beat the top team in the division, one that's strong contenders to go straight back up to the Premier League. Isn't that Millwall all over? And whatever you feel of Neil Harris's management style, whatever you think about his tactics, his approach to the game, there's one thing that is for certain: the man understands Millwall. I mean, talk about a big time manager. When a tight situation like we had last night, there's Championship salvation very much on the table, albeit now against one of the best teams in the division. And he finds the big performers. He gets it out, a tune out of these set of players that we've all been maligning for some time, saying that they are serial failures. That's what I called them on BBC London on Monday, and they've rammed those words back down my throat, which is exactly how I like it, Mrs. Ooh. Anyway, dear listeners, let's get straight into some of our voice notes. We've got quite a bit of content here for you. We're going to begin now with Angelo Miliotto. Take it away, Angelo.
Hi, Nick. It's Angelo, mate. I've been hiding under a rock, mate, after them two disastrous away performances. I just want to jump off a bridge, mate. This club, it plays with your emotions so crazy, mate, and last night was just absolutely tremendous, mate. The first thing I want to talk about was everyone was so shocked that he kept the same team, because of his comments about players not caring. Some players are more fussed than other players. So, we were shocked when we saw the same team. But do you know what? When you really think about it, mate, he's obviously come out with them comments after the Huddersfield game because he was just like us. He does care so much, mate, and he was just as pissed off as what I was with his players. Do you know what I mean? So he's obviously come out of, what do we do? Oh, fucking Harris, he's fucking useless, he's this, he's that, blah, blah, blah. And obviously with his emotions, he was literally doing that with his players. So after coming to his senses and thinking, obviously we need experience at this stage of the season, he's opted to stick with the team, but he's galvanised them, and you could tell, mate, within 10 minutes you could tell that they were so fucking up for it, mate. I said to my son, we are up for it tonight, and yeah, just fucking unbelievable, mate. One of the hugest results that we could have dreamt of. Another thing that we got to think about as well, obviously them two defeats against that dross away from home in Yorkshire, right? It killed us, right? But when you analyse since Neil Harris has come back, look at our home form. He's had 4 games, he's kept 3 clean sheets, and the only goal that we've conceded at home since Neil Harris has come back was a penalty, mate. We have not conceded from open play at the Den, where we couldn't fucking win for toffee, mate. Since Neil Harris has come back, we've just conceded 1 penalty. So credit to the man, mate. Yes, we had 2 unbelievably shocking results, but when you look at it in a nutshell, mate, he is doing a fucking good job, mate. And these players are fighting like fuck. You could tell yesterday, standout performances yesterday. Obafemi, I thought, was absolutely fantastic, mate. I reckon he was one of the players that Neil Harris might have been pointing out that wasn't trying, because he didn't try as hard up as Huddersfield. But mate, the man was like a man possessed. And when Esse put that absolutely millimetre perfect pass through to him, I was so desperate for him to score there, mate, because it would have given us a bit of breathing space, and obviously it would have given him so much confidence as well. But yeah, Sarkic made one unbelievable save. Cooper made a fantastic block, which I'm sure stopped a certain goal. The Billy Mitchell clearance at the end, unbelievable, mate. Ryan Longman shut up the Boo Boys with a Premiership quality strike, mate. There's no two ways about it. One of the best goals I've ever seen down at the Den. Billy Mitchell done great. I think Saville done a job on that. Dewsbury Hall, it kept him very, very quiet. And Ryan Leonard, let's just give him the player of the season right now, mate. The geezer is unfucking believable. And we just got to give him a new contract and crack on with him next season. But yeah, great. And Esse, what a lovely performance from Esse when he come on as well, mate. Some lovely, lovely touches. And he got more than his normal 5-10 minutes due to an unfortunate injury to Jill Chinaman. But it was good to see Esse playing with a bit of confidence as well. So yeah, fantastic, mate. I reckon one more win, possibly let's get to 4 points, mate. Get 4 points out of these last 4 games, and then we got Championship football next season. But yeah, brilliant. I'm fucking happy this morning, and yeah, well done to the club, well done to the fans, well done to the players, just well done to Neil Harris, mate. Brilliant. I'll catch you later, Nick. Yeah, come on, you Lions.
That's great stuff, Angelo. Good to hear from you, mate. I think you're probably going to be hearing these themes a lot across this show. You certainly would have heard it already on the other show, dear listeners. I can't really add much to what Angelo said there. I mean, we all felt embarrassed after those 2 losses at Rotherham, and well, Rotherham especially for me, but Huddersfield also, given what was on the table. One of the stranger things, and I think Neil Harris mentioned it when he was speaking to BBC London after the game, was the allegation or the insinuation, whatever you want to call it. I'll put my hand up. I've made this insinuation that these are players that failed us in big situations, especially at the Den. I think if you're going to have a mare of a performance, then I suppose to some extent take it away, at least have it somewhere else, rather than in front of your own fans. And last night was probably a classic example of bringing your A game to a big-time situation. You're up against big opposition, and Neil Harris managed to summon up the ghosts of Millwall past, and got those players who have failed us repeatedly, one way and the other, over this past year and a bit, under various managers and under various kind of styles of play. He managed to raise it, and the whole performance was really, really strong last night. You've mentioned a few names there, Angelo. Billy Mitch, the goal line clearance that's been on repeat on social media. Ryan Leonard, I wouldn't have argued with anyone that made Ryan Leonard man of the match last night. Ryan Longman with that goal. I mean, as you say, that was a Premier League finish, as Angelo's just put it. But most of all, circumstances dictated that Romain Esse got an extended period in a big situation against a team that was probably looking to play some football themselves. That might be a key point in explaining some of the more recent, second-rate showings where teams are looking to shut up shop. We don't really still break teams down very easily or very naturally, but Leicester were carrying the burden of being the big name last night, and we're in the role of underdogs, which is always going to be the classic situation for Millwall. People have been posting all day online. If you didn't see that result coming, then you're not real Millwall. We all probably thought, loads have said it, we're going to fall over at the lesser lights, and then we'll take on the big clubs and do a job such as we did last night. Can this approach be sustained is the question I've written to myself, Angelo, as I was listening to your recording there, mate. I don't know. That's going to be the critique, I think, of some of the the less convinced out there. We've got plenty of content to get through, and I'm sure we're going to come across exactly that kind of sentiment at a certain stage. Whether that kind of manic, vein bulging, Millwallness, whether that can be sustained with signings. Maybe if we can bring in the right personnel to play it, maybe it's going to require money, but we've got more chance of doing that in the Championship than we would do in League One. Anyway, there we are. Big thank you, Angelo. We're going to move along. Let's have Jim Hackett next up. Jim Hackett.
Morning, Nick. Jim Hackett here. Just ringing up after probably the morning after the night before, where I think we got something that, obviously being a Millwall supporter for a long time, isn't a massive surprise, but I have to say how wonderful it is to watch a performance like that last night and see the real Millwallness come out of a squad of players that have spent the last couple of weeks getting absolutely battered by everybody, told how bad they are, and yet they come out and perform like that tonight. So really pleased for them, pleased for Neil Harris, but more importantly, pleased for the fans. I think deserved a good performance, and for me, it was a team performance of the season. I couldn't see last night, which is surprising. I couldn't see any weak links in the team, which, when you look at how we've gone over the last few weeks, months, season, it's a real testament to them that they actually played on the front foot and they looked positive and they looked like they had the measure of Leicester all the way through. I think we kept possession well, and that was from the first minute. It wasn't as if we sort of grew into the game at all. We took it on from the first minute, and I think even towards the end, they were still going strong. I think substitutions got made at the right time, and he put good players on to do a job, and they just continued doing the job that had already been started. So really happy with that. They passed the ball well. Everybody sort of played their part last night, and that's makes a nice change, I think. And it just shows that when they do all sort of click together, there is a good team in there. So very happy with that. I thought going forward, Obafemi had a fantastic game in terms of getting the ball, keeping the ball. When he got the opportunity to run at the opposition, he caused them problems. It was just a shame he didn't sort of finish his one opportunity off, but we got a result, so it didn't sort of come back and bite anybody. So I'm really happy with him. I think defensively we looked quite resolute last night. I think Leicester were sort of kept down to one chance, and that was one Billy cleared off the line. But apart from that, they didn't cut us open at all, and we dealt with them. And I thought, throughout the team we dealt with them. You could see there was a nice shape to our defensive play. Everybody was shifting as they should have done, and to be fair, it came from the front where that Fleming, Obafemi, Honeyman, and Longman all put their shifts in, to get close to their players. And then when we got the ball, we kept it. So, very happy all the way through. I thought Sarkic as well had one of his better games last night. Everything that came close to him, it stuck to him rather than bounced off. And he did keep us in it a couple of times where they put low crosses in, and he managed to just get hold of the ball and just take this thing out of the game. So, very happy for him as well. I think the highlights of the game, no doubt, when Longman put that ball in the net, it sort of took everybody's breath away, and it was a fantastic goal, and it deserved to win the game. So, again, another player who's coming for a bit of criticism, but he certainly answered his critics there. And if we can get that out of him, during his loan time, I wonder where he goes next season, because that won't do any harm for his confidence for the rest of this season. And if he's got that in his locker, just imagine if he does pull it out a couple of times a year, then it's going to be good for us. And obviously the other highlight was Billy's clearance. As much stick as that lad has had over the time, you can't doubt his passion, and you certainly can't doubt his ability to throw 110% of himself into the game, because that clearance was fantastic. He's a centre midfield player who had been up one end of the pitch, got back to the other end of the pitch, and just managed to clear that off the line. And it would have been so harsh on us, not totally unexpected, because that's how the team goes. But I thought it would have been really harsh on us to have let that goal in. But I think that deflated everybody in the Leicester side, and we saw the game out comfortably. I think individually, Obafemi, like I said, he played fantastically well. Sarkic did his part. Esse, when he came on, I thought he suddenly looked like a senior player. He looked like a man playing football, whereas earlier in the season when I watched him, he just looked like a young lad who was sort of trying to get the grips with senior football. And suddenly he came on last night, and the team didn't miss a beat. Everything he had to do, he's got lovely quick feet who he can get away from players just by manipulating the ball around them. And I think that somewhere along the line, we've got to take a chance on him and give him some regular game time, because you can build a team around players like him, Fleming, Casper De Norre, even Billy Mitchell. You know, you can get something out of all them. And SA could be the difference between sort of being a half-decent team and a good team. So very happy with him last night when he come on. But I think out of all the players playing last night, if I had to pick a standout one, it's got to be Ryan Leonard again. And that man does it game after game after game. People kept saying he's a midfielder, but he's a fantastic right back for us. He doesn't miss tackles. He's got great pace. He up against a player last night who everybody's touting for the Premier League, and I think Ryan Leonard didn't quite have him in his pocket, but he didn't give him anything. And for me, if he doesn't get our player of the season, I'll be eat my hat. That's if I wore a hat anyway. So very happy with him. Unfortunately, we've still got more games to go, so we'll probably come back to reality on Saturday against Cardiff, and everybody will be moaning and groaning again on Sunday. But for me, we've got 4 games to go. I think it might even be enough points as it is, but if we can get another 2 or 3 points, that will definitely keep us up there. And then it's all about getting on for next season, isn't it? But as I said earlier, there's a good team in that squad. It's just shame we don't see it often enough. But when we do see it, it makes you realise why we actually love Millwall, why the club is the way it is. It's just absolutely fantastic result. A great lift for everybody. And now we go on to Saturday. So come on, you Lions.
Terrific stuff there from Jim. Thank you, Jim. It is wonderful to wake up the morning after a good, strong Millwall-style performance, listeners. I'm sure I'm not alone in feeling like my day has drifted by, like I'm on a kind of a floating on a cloud even all day. Yeah, hats off to the team that took the field last night. I mean, I think Neil Harris put it that eyebrows would have been raised with the naming of the same 11. My eyebrows were certainly raised sitting in Birdshit Corner, dear listeners. I'm sure yours were wherever you followed the game. But yeah, hats off to the team, everyone that took part in it last night on the field, and the management for showing some real raw courage in doing that. I don't think I would have had that courage, listeners, if I'm going to be upfront with you. But I also want to say hats off to the support last night, because, you know, at the start of proceedings, as you would have gathered, you know, listening, if you've listened to the live stream that I did, it was quite sparse. It wasn't 14,000, I think, was the official attendance. That's, as always now in the modern game, that's your tickets sold rather than actual bodies, bums sat on seats. I thought it was probably around just over half full, maybe. And yeah, I might be underdoing it. Obviously, I can't see the West Stand where I sit properly, but certainly looking at the Cold Blow and the Docker stand. But the atmosphere was good. I thought it was going to be a little bit, you know, a little bit tough at the start of the game. But once everyone got warmed up, there was that slightly strange tribute to Dave Millwall. I really, if I can make one suggestion, if I can just interrupt our consideration of the wonderful performance last night and maybe speak directly to the club here if you're listening. I'm sure they do. Do it again. Get a picture of Dave on screen. It was all, I didn't actually know what the minute's silence, the minute's applause. There was no picture. It was, I know the news broke fairly late in the day, and you know, I'm not looking to harangue anyone or have a dig at anyone, but it can be done a lot better than that, because I don't think anyone really knew what was going on. I certainly didn't, and I know I'm getting old and, you know, losing my marbles gradually. But do it again properly on Saturday. Get a picture of Dave Mehmet on the screen. For those of us of a certain age, he was a good figure. I mean, he's clearly looking at the tributes to him across the net. He's well thought of, both at Millwall and his other clubs, Charlton, Gillingham, and some local non-league. Fisher I saw as well. So yeah, get it together if you can, Mill. Do it better than what we had last night. But otherwise, no, great stuff. I'll make you right about Sarkic as well. He dealt with some decent crossing when they did get forwards. They were a dangerous side, clearly, and we nullified them. But apart from that late chance for where Billy cleared, and there was another miss, I thought a bit of a howling miss at the far post from where I sit. But anyway, we kept them quiet, and that's all you can do, Jim. So big thank you to Jim Hackett there. I'm going to go now next with John Rankin, and then we're going to follow John with Joe from Chicago.
John Rankin calling in after our fabulous victory over Leicester 1-0 at the Den last night. Well, what do you make of that? What a brilliant night to be at the Den. It was edgy to begin with. I was watching Jamie Vardy and the other guys that play for Leicester, is it Dewsbury Hawks and all that up front. And there was a moment at the beginning when they played the ball down the inside of Ryan Leonard and he struggled to get there, and Sarkic came out and dived at the guy's feet and collected the ball, and I thought, I'm not sure how long we can kind of put up with that sort of pressure, really. They were looking really quality, as you would have thought. And then, the game progressed 20-odd minutes and, still 0-0. And I thought, well, the longer it goes on, the more chance we got, and we started playing ourselves into the game. It was a real kick, bollock and bite performance from Millwall. I was very impressed with our defence. Jake Cooper had a good game. Danny Mack didn't make any mistakes. Tanganga, I was watching him, and early doors, he's a proper professional centre-half, that guy, because I was watching him and Vardy, and he pushed Vardy. He was watching the ref, Tanganga, saw the ref turn his back on him and run up the pitch, and he gave Jamie Vardy a shove in the back, as if to say, all right, mate, I'm here, and smiled at him. And I thought, that's really good old school defending, Don't do anything silly, wait till the ref can't see you, give him a nudge, and it just puts a marker down. Then it just unsettles that person, with a big ego. You're still a human being, mate. You might have played for England, but I'm going to mark you. And he did. He looked after him well. George Honeyman got fouled, and in the melee after the foul, Tanganga walked all over Vardy when he was on the floor. Another, brilliant piece of back play by Tanganga. And I've got to say, he was my man of the match. I know you're going to say Ryan Longman and Billy Mitchell and Shaw, they were fantastic and everyone played well. But for me, older Jeff Tanganga was my man of the match because of the way he kept the Leicester front players, quiet. And in the end, Vardy pulled off Tanganga and went and played in a different sector of the pitch. And that is the mark of a very, very good defender plying his trade. Someone published the Millwall stats in a WhatsApp group we've got that we were, although our stats have been appalling for things like goal scoring and winning games and things like that, we're top of the league in fouls and tackles. So at least there's something to cling on to there. And I was thinking, well, we can definitely hold these people. There's no reason we're going to roll over here and do the usual. Let's make a fist of it, and by it we did. So on to the second half, and I said to someone in the CBL behind me, I think we're going to play better in the second half. We got the crowd started to get into it, and the atmosphere started to get positive for Millwall. And then out of nowhere, it did threaten. We were looking good down that left channel, over on the far side. We were having a few little runs down, and all of a sudden, I think Ryan Longman broke the play up. Billy Mitchell held the ball and passed it through to Longman, and he started running forward, and he cut inside, and bang, top bins, curled it right into the top right-hand corner. Absolutely fantastic, and we just went into, we went into joy in the Cold Blow Lane end. My son was absolutely delirious. He was beside himself, with joy. And it was a really joyful moment. Absolutely brilliant. And the question now was, could we see the game out? Because I was watching Obafemi and he was playing really well, making some very aggressive runs through the middle, which is just what we need. Taking players on, very exciting, but he was running out of steam as he was about to pull the trigger. And I think that's a fitness thing. You could see he was blowing up as he was getting into the box. So I thought, well, we scored a worldie, a little bit out of blue, but, I think it was honours even at the time. I don't think it was ill-deserved. It wasn't against the run of play. We were giving as good as we got. And I thought, well, can we hang on? And then we did. And Billy Mitchell came out with that absolutely world-class piece of defending on the line. And, I was thinking, what's your art, John? Try and keep calm. The adrenaline was beginning to pump through my body. And but yeah, thoroughly enjoyable. Great day to be a Millwall supporter. Last week I was in the fits of depression, but this is Millwall for you. You know, it's a club like no other because they throw you into a fit of depression and, you know, oh, well, we're a third division club and let's just resign ourselves. And they do something like this. Where does it come from? I can't believe it. But, you know, Mill Caluanza.
Joe from Chicago. What a match. What a match. My internet wasn't working all morning. Thought it was going to be a good thing. It came back. I was dreading it, and bam. What a result. I've never sweat through a shirt so much as I just did. But what a day. What a goal from Ryan Longman. I still think he's shit, but what a goal. What a goal. Michael Obafemi. Also still think he's shit. I think he kind of showed that today, but his hustle was fabulous. He has no quality on the ball, though. Oh, my Lord. But Romain Esse, fabulous. But two guys, Zion Fleming and Billy Mitchell. Back past Billy, set up that Ryan Longman goal, and then that goal line clearance at the end from Billy was just sensational. And, of course, Zion Fleming, like four-headed clearances, was everywhere on corners, just give that man the captain's armband. He gets this club. I can't believe Millwall lost to Rotherham in Huddersfield and then come back and beat top-of-the-table Leicester. The fuck? Oh, come on, you Lions. Sending love from across the pond. Hope everything's well. Cheers.
We thank you, Joe and John, earlier on. Interesting idea to make Zian captain. I thought Jake Cooper last night. Joe played much improved, and others have said that already. And we saw a much better showing. I was interested, actually, just going back to John's comments about Jeff Tanganga. I missed a lot of what you said there, John. So, you know, clearly Jake Cooper was always at his best when he had the classic prime Sean Hutchinson alongside him. Jeff Tanganga clearly is a top quality act. He's you know, we may or may not be able to keep him. I doubt we'll be able to keep him, listeners. We probably can't afford him. But give Jake a quality partner and you see the best of Jake. I think, unfortunately, Jake has been a little bit lost and lonely. Expectations have been put on him to do things that he's not really, been put on this earth to do, like pass the ball accurately and to try and play like Paolo Maldini in a kind of a creative defence role. And it's a bit back to basics, which Neil Harris is the master of working out what works for people. It's interesting to just Joe's idea of making Zian captain. I do agree, he cares, Joe, and I think it might be a good choice, actually. I love the idea of Ryan Longman Obafemi having played a really good game, still being shit, though. That's very Millwall, Joe. Big thank you, John and Joe. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back after these messages with Adam Wicks and then Craig Jones.
Achtung, Millwall.
Morning, Nick. It's just Adam Wicks here, just phoning in with a quick voice note after last night's amazing and unexpected 1-0 win over Leicester. I'm away, so I didn't manage to get to the den, obviously, but hopefully be back in time for Saturday. Just amazing turnaround, and I think, as everyone's covered, you know, this is unfortunately seems to be a glitch in our club makeup where we can't do it when we're expected to do it, but when we're the serious underdogs, we can put in a performance of relentless commitment and quality. I thought we played some really good stuff last night. When we had the ball, we had to fight very hard to get the ball, but when we did get it, we used it well. Obviously, thought the whole team played fantastic. But for me, obviously, even before the goal line clearance, I thought Billy Mitchell was absolutely sensational yesterday. You consider the calibre of midfielders, money spent on them that he was up against. He, really owned that midfield. I thought he was very, very good. Obafemi, I thought, put a shift in, didn't have a lot to work with. Shame he didn't get his goal. Romain Esse as well really looked like a
a sort of coming of age, mature cameo, not seen anything of that nature from him yet myself, I don't think, and that's really encouraging because he really, really helped Leonard out. But when he had the ball, my God, he doesn't waste it, does he? I mean, he was dragging 2-3 players in, wriggling around them. I mean, the ball he put through to Obafemi, I don't think there's many other players in our side that could have threaded that one through. And then obviously the Red Hill Ronaldo with an amazing finish. And I've been a critic of Longman this season, but you can't fault the guy's work rate. He might be limited in some areas, but he's obviously got something about him, isn't he? Yeah, very happy. I mean, it looks to me like, one more win and we're 100% uncatchable. I even think a couple of points might be enough. But obviously, we just need to get this done and dusted now, so we can turn our attention to next season. And I just, I think it was I listened to the voicemail show by the Paul the other day, and there was lots of really good and comment and well-deserved criticism for the team. And I thought there was a lot of sensible anger in what Tony was saying, and I think a lot of people would do well to just take note of that, because I think he sort of really put into words well what a lot of people can see, and we do need to tread carefully. But very, very happy. Yeah, great performance. Come on, you Lions.
Hi, Nick. Hi, Achtung. Just when you think you have all the answers, Millwall change the questions. How have we won against Leicester? Like, we can't beat bottom of the league, yet we can beat top of the league. How is that even... How can you even fathom how that works? That's just... I know the Championship is a complete backwards league, but bloody hell. Talking points. We talk about. I don't think it goes without saying, but the effort the team put in was incredible. We did what we usually do. We just let Leicester have the ball, attack us, defend resolutely, try and hit them on the counter, which is actually how Longman scored his worldie. We'll get to that. But yeah, to amount like Leonard, I swear he was on every part of the back four at one point. He was just absolutely fantastic. He had Leicester's left winger on toast. He really did. Shout Cooper looked better, although he still makes me nervous. Tanganga looked all right. Sarkic looked very composed, which was very good to see, especially against a strong Leicester team. Billy worked his bloody socks off, as he usually does. But yeah, that goal line clearance in added time in the second half from Billy, wow. I think the way that Leicester player had a paddy was the way I was celebrating. That felt like a goal. And so the biggest change as well in the game, certainly in that second half, was an unfortunate one for Honeyman, but a brilliant one for Eze, because it shows and showcased how good that kid is and how much he's actually come on compared to the player he was when we played Norwich away early in the season. It's just like he's now beginning to become a man. It was a real coming of age appearance for him, and I just hope that he does get the chance to put in more appearances like that soon. But yeah, also Obafemi, he was just like a battering ram at times. He was fantastic. He was very unlucky not to score a goal, to be fair. The thought of us winning 2-0 against Leicester is just, I don't want to get too giddy. But yeah, that was just an unbelievable Millwall-ish performance. And certainly it will be a pivotal win. For sure. We have a little bit more breathing space, but who knows what will happen over the next week, how we do against Cardiff and also all the teams that drop points tonight. They may well bounce back like we have So we can't rest on our laurels here. We can't talk about being complacent again, because that cannot happen. But I hope now it means that we may well have a balanced side if we are to start with SA and Longman on the wings, because I feel like that just made such a difference. It really made such a difference with how we played. Again, still didn't have much of the ball, but when we win 1-0 against top of the league, who cares? Who cares? We've got 3 points. We're 4 points clear of currently from Huddersfield, I think it is. Huddersfield are currently in that position. It's Huddersfield, Birmingham, and Rotherham. So, oh god, Birmingham in the bottom 3. Imagine if Rower ended up going down and we stayed up. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Let's calm it. Take one game at a time. Next up, Cardiff. Big game. Got to win. See you later, lads. Come on, United.
Big thank you, Craig. And before Craig, Adam Wicks, both in their different ways, asking the fundamental question as to why we can produce such a performance against the best team in our division, arguably. Certainly the most well-resourced, arguably. Maybe Leeds can come close to them. And then fall over flat on our face at Rotherham and Huddersfield. I don't know the answer to that question, boys. I don't know if anyone can really answer that question. It's almost in the Millwall DNA. It's in our bloodstream from the moment that I first entered Coldblow Lane. We've always struggled to break down sides that set up to sit back and absorb pressure. Lesser sides, if you want to put it that way. And any major name, anyone that thinks of themselves as being on the next level of football existence, money, you name it, it produces the Dockers in us. It produces the old Surrey Docks spirit. And before then, the Millwall Docks. We just want to land one on a man, in metaphorically speaking, in our case, my case. And I think it's just in the blood. We come out of our corner fighting, only one way to approach it. That's what you saw last night. I think Neil Harris understands that. It's a deep-rooted need within the crowd for that to be so. And for that reason, listeners, any younger listeners, if we have any younger listeners, I'm going to gently introduce to you the idea that we'll never win the Premier League because we don't have the attributes required. What we will do, though, is play the Premier League champions from time to time and probably beat them in one-off games. There we are. Welcome to the rest of your life, dear listeners. A big thank you to Craig and Adam. We're now going to go along to Michael Avery, followed by Matt Webb, and then the third in a little sequence, Simon Fay. Take it away, Michael.
Well, dear listener, that was an interesting one, wasn't it? I don't think anyone saw that coming. Or actually, I think, knowing how Millwall are, I think a lot of people had a sneaky feeling. I said before the game started a few times, not that I'm Mystic Meg or anyone like that, but I did say that knowing Millwall will either lose this about 7-8-0 or will nick a 1-0 win, and what a way to nick it. Billy Mitchell has had his criticisms recently, myself included, when we've really needed big performances, and I think that players like Denora should be on the field instead. He played arguably the pass of the game last night to set up the goal for Longman, who again has been getting absolutely banged online with criticism every time Neil Harris plays a system and he's in there when we need attacking players. But yeah, I think that's got to be goal of the season for me. I can't think now from the top of my head a goal that's better than that one. But what a strike. What a strike. The moment he left his boot, you just knew that was going in. Great finish. With regards to Leicester, if you're a neutral, you're very disappointed with that. Or if you're a Leicester fan, you're even more disappointed, because I don't think they did absolutely anything. They sort of came into the final third and didn't really do a great deal, did they? I thought we marshalled them out very, very well, kept them at bay. I thought Cooper had a good game. He again is enough opposed against some criticism. And I thought Leonard again was exceptional, as always. And, you know, Avery Senior said to me that Longman should probably get man of the match for the next few games. That's how good that goal was. But for me, I think he could even give Sarkic a shout for man of the match, because he didn't have a great deal to do, as I just previously said. But what he did do, he did well. We got some essential blocks in. He commanded his box well. And for a keeper who's been, again, similar to the rest of the outfielders, but player who's been under criticism for a lot of the season, and a lot of people have blamed him for certain things that have gone wrong or certain results. I think he's been a player who stepped up really, really well and did a good job yesterday. But without trying to get too cliche, because the cliches already came out, it was a good Millwall performance. And even though I personally have been a critic of the style of that Neil Harris is playing, I'll always love Neil Harris. Fantastic manager for us in a great history, obviously, when we got up from League One. Gave us some fantastic moments and a wonderful, wonderful player for Millwall Football Club. Arguably, in my opinion, the best player that's ever played for the club and what he's given us. You know, it's the 50 points that we need. We're nearly there, should I say. We're one win away from the 50 points that everyone bangs on about, because I think that that win just gave us that little bit of breathing space we need at a vital, vital time. I said to Nick yesterday, I bumped into Mr. Hart at half time, and I don't want to go down. All these people say, oh, let's go down for a year, and let's go down and see how we get on and all that jazz that comes with that. I don't agree with that at all. But what I did say to Nick yesterday is I'm counting down the days till this season is over, and we know where we're going to be, as in we're going to be a Championship team or we're going to be a League One team, and we can just do a hard reset from top to bottom, because this has not been an enjoyable season. I said as well at half time that if you compare this to the season under Kenny Jackett in his last year, that was awful football as well. You know, Kenny Jackett's probably the best manager of my lifetime at 37, 38 years old. But at least there was some organisation in the sense around the club. We knew where we were, there was a structure. The football wasn't great, and Jackett was trying his best, but it wasn't as sort of disjointed as it feels at the moment. So I think the summer needs a hard reset. I'm not going to jump on the sack certain members of this club bandwagon. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and you know, some people agree with what you're saying, but I think we need to be proactive. We need to think clearly and think positively, and just see where we can improve on plenty of the mistakes we made this season. We went from a team who, you know, was having consecutive top 10 finishes. We was unlucky, obviously, in the last day of play at Blackburn, and the dip in what we have become over this season, I think, needs to be addressed around the table. And proactively as a club and a fan base, we need to just write this one off and go again next season. Thank you for the long voice note, dear listener, and yeah, I apologise for Mr. Hart having to listen to all this. Come on, you Lions.
Hi Nick, Matt Webb here, messaging you about my thoughts on last night's win against Leicester. Well, first and foremost, I didn't put a note in after the Huddersfield game out of sheer anger and just frustration with the team and with the setup. So I kept myself quiet, and like probably about nearly 5,000 people, I didn't go last night either. Obviously work commitments was one of the big reasons, and getting there on a Tuesday night, but I decided to watch it at home with the expectation of us not getting hardly anything out of the game last night. And to be fair, I'll take my hat off. The Millwall did really, really well, and I'll come on to that just a second, but one of my main reasons why I didn't go last night was because of the fact that Neil didn't set up an unchanged team after we had the spiel about how they were going to run through brick walls. And I thought, well, if they couldn't put up a fight against Huddersfield, how on earth are they going to run through brick walls, his words, at home to the top of the table Leicester team? So as much as work commitments was one of the reasons, I could have got there last night if I really made the effort, but I just didn't. So I decided to watch it at home and watch it on TV. And yeah, you know, I'll take my hat off to them. They did really, really well. It looked like the game was going for a nil. Well, basically we was holding on for a 0-0 from from the offset, really, in my opinion. I don't think we were clinical enough. I mean, yes, we had a couple of shots on target, which arguably were easy pickings for the Leicester goalkeeper to save, Longman and Cooper headers, respectfully. And I just felt myself, we're playing out for a 0-0 here, and it was only until Neil had to make a enforced substitution. Now, this is the thing I think we as a club have had problems with, not just under Harris's regime at the moment, but under Rowett's regime as well, is our lack of ability of making the changes at the right time. I'll go on to, like I say, previous game, Huddersfield, where he brings on SA and Mayer when we went 1-0 down for, 40 seconds, 50 seconds, or however long it was. Last night, he had to make an enforced change with Georgie Honeyman going off with, looks like a real bad shoulder injury, and I think potentially that's him done for the season, if you're my honest opinion. And when that change had to be made, probably 9 times out of 10 people would have thought, oh, we'll just bring on Norton Cuffy, like tighten it up even further and literally hang out for the draw. But do you know what? Fair crack, he gave SA the opportunity, and he gave SA 40 minutes. And in all fairness, mate, as soon as that sub was done, bang, we changed, and SA's substitution was the turning point. He brought a bit more skill, bit more creativity, bit more excitement onto that pitch, and the Leicester team could not handle that. And at the end of the day, we actually deserved that win last night. Leicester were shit. I mean, for a team that are top of the league, they were absolutely pony, and they didn't want to be there last night. They really did. They've got bigger fish to fry now. Whether that'll come on Friday night when I have to go down to Plymouth, who knows? But I mean, come on, I'll be cheering on the Foxes then. I think that's for certain. But they were poor, and we were better than poor. There's still areas of the game that I felt we were lost, which I still wasn't convinced with. Well, I thought Danny Mack's defensive duties and Jake Cooper's defensive duties were under suspicion last night, especially with the fact that Billy Mitchell had to bail him out with an off the line header. However, it was an absolute wonderful finish by Longman. Now, Ryan Longman does come in for a lot of criticism online. I remember reading someone post when, is Ryan Longman the worst loan player Millwall have ever had? Well, no. And I think Ryan Longman would be a useful player for Millwall moving forward. So, you know, that goal he took was absolutely sublime. You can't take that away from the fella. And you know what? It was actually his interception that broke up the play to pass the ball back to Billy. Billy threw ball, put it forward to him, that started the goal. So he created that goal all by himself. So hats off to Ryan Longman there. Special mentions again, keeper watch, Sarkic, solid, absolutely solid. Despite having not much to do, he pulled off a real good save, which I don't know which player it was, took a drilled shot, stood firm, stood strong, and patted the ball away. So do you know what? Hats off to Longman again, another player that gets these critics. I like him, good player. Tanganga again, absolutely phenomenal. You know, if you imagine we could have something like a Tanganga and Cresswell partnership next year. I mean, if Colesberg done podcasts next, I think that will be the best podcast in the world. Pardon the pun. But he was absolutely solid. My man of the match last night, again, was Ryan Leonard. He's not blessed with pace, but the brain on the man is something special. And to keep that left wing, I can't even, is it Mavidi or whatever his name was, quiet or restricted, showed how quality he is. Again, out of contract in the summer, Do we gamble on him, giving him another year, 18 months? You know, are the terms right? Is his injury record going to hamper him? I don't know, but that's what's got to be discussed as a club. So all in all, I'm happy. 3 points off the relegation with a 15-goal swing, 15-goal difference swing. So really, truthfully, that's 4 points. We are ahead of the third place. But again, another result on Saturday. We've got to keep this momentum going. The word is momentum. Let's not be inconsistent. We have to keep on doing this. We have to look at the talent. You know, has SA warranted a starting place on Saturday? I think he does. So let's not go cagey again. You know, let's build on this because we can. And let's just get this over the line, because I can't be doing with the countdown of the games and how many points difference we are. I want us to be relaxed when it comes to the Plymouth game, or even, you know, I think, could we be relaxed after the result next on Saturday? I think we will be. I think we could be. I think we'll be safe if we win. But it ain't over yet. So come on, you Lions, and yeah, let's get this over the line.
Good morning, Nick. The morning after the night before of Millwall 1, Leicester 0. At the end of 8 days that, I don't know, encapsulates 139 years of Millwall history. It's one of the reasons why we're never going to make the Premier League, because we go to the team 24th in the division, 22nd in the division, and play like the dog and duck. Fast forward to last night, we play, according to the table, the best team in the division, and go and beat them. And if that ain't Millwall, then I don't really know what is. Everyone played well last night. Even Ryan Longman with an absolute worldie. I think getting pushed out to the left-hand side actually helped him. I think it actually allows him to do what he normally does, which is run down the wing, cut in and shoot. His last 2 goals for Millwall have been pretty much from the same position. Shame about Honeyman, but still, blessings in disguise. It actually meant that Romain Esse got on the pitch. He's alive. Romain Esse is alive and actually played really well. Mentioned in dispatches for Ryan Leonard. When he got home last night, when he got home, took off his trousers, and then emptied his pockets and found wallet, keys, phone, Mavididi. I just hope he's managed to get home. I hope he's managed to get home after being in his pocket all night. We got to stop losing to all these crap teams, Nick. We ain't going to make the Premier League otherwise. Something's got to change. I know it's the Millwall way and it's the DNA and it's the Millwallness, but I'm fed up with it. Can we just beat the teams that we're supposed to beat and play well against the teams that we're not supposed to beat? I mean, it's not difficult. It's just, it baffles me how the same set of players last night managed to produce a magnificent performance after producing 2 performances of entire dross. Explain it to me, Nick. Can anybody explain it to me? I don't think they can. I mean, I knew last night, it was seeing the team, it was either going to be 1-0 Millwall or it was going to be 5-0 Leicester. There was going to be no in between. We knew this. But, I don't know. Still, 4 points clear, 4 games to go. Cardiff on Saturday. Now, if Neil Harris can't get him up to beat his former club on Saturday, then, well, we'll see. 10 points out of 12 at home. Hopefully, it'll be 13 out of 15. Come on, you Lions.
You're asking me all the hard questions there, Simon. If I could explain the Millwall DNA to anyone, I'd probably be working with Elon Musk on his new project to fly to Mars with that Sydney Sweeney as my co-pilot, perhaps. No, I can't explain it to you, mate. I wish I could. It's 3 great messages there. I mean, I think everyone's probably Maybe I will answer your question, Simon. I think the way that we escape the Millwallness, which has its good and bad side, we all know about that. The way we escape the Millwallness is by developing the Roman SA England under-20-ness, because that's the quality of the boy. I keep calling him a boy. He's not. He's a man. That was a man's performance last night, and I'm going to stop calling Roman SA the boy because it's disrespectful to him. He was doing the tackling back. He was doing the work side, and he was doing the flair side at a level where this is not quite one of his first appearances, but it's very early on in his professional career, and he's more than held his own. He's shown why he's been picked for the national team. You can see the quality of the boy, the man. That's the answer. We've got to back flair, and of course it's got to be teamed with the kind of discipline and the traditional attributes of being very difficult to beat. Of course, I think someone mentioned earlier on in the show about the defensive statistics since Neil Harris has come back, and going back to the previous reign of Gary Rowett, it was built on solid defence, and that's going to be a key way forward for us. But it has to be where we have flair, and I do think that Roman SA is a rare talent. Back it, play it, because look what he did last night. You could just see the quality standing out. So I think, I don't know if it's an answer for your question, Simon, the chances of that being brought in at Millwall is as much as me flying off with Sydney Sweeney. But that I think is the route out of it. So yeah, I mean, hats off to the team. We've said it repeatedly across all these messages, and I don't want to keep repeating myself, but I think Michael Avery made the point. We kept Leicester very, very quiet. It was a magnificent defensive performance, and but as you say, gone from dog and duck to matching the best team in our division. Go figure. There we are. Big thank you to Michael, to Matt, and to Simon there. We're going to play the edition out now with 3 in a row to finish us. We're going to go with Mark Barnes, Matt Richards, and then one from Tony Monday to finish the edition. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's contributed to this show, and for part 1, the live stream, and a couple of voice notes afterwards. I really, really appreciate everyone for contributing these voice notes. I enjoy doing the reaction shows to them. I hope they're good listening. And it's nice to get good feedback online. So big thank you to everyone for contributing. I'm going to be back at the weekend. I'm going to go obviously to watch Mill play Cardiff. Let's hope for a win. Let's hope for something of the spirit we saw last night. 3 massive points on the table against Cardiff, and that may be the one that in practical terms of just 3 games to go after Saturday produces salvation for the season, and we can rebuild, do all the things that we've all been talking about. Let's have a reset. Let's see if we can build a squad that is capable of playing to their maximum capabilities next season. Big thank you to everyone. If you want to contribute to the show, hit me up on the old X, message me, we can exchange numbers, or you can just send me a voice note on X. Either work for me, I can do either way. So this close now. We're going to have Mark Barnes, Matt Richards, and finally, to close today's show, Tony Monday. Take it away, Mark.
Hello, Nick. It's Barnesy here. I think I'm probably like every other Mill supporter thinking, where the hell did that performance come from? The last 2 games, we've been very, very poor. And, there's no light at the end of the tunnel, to be honest. And then we pull out a result like that. It's just, it's the Millwall way, isn't it, really? That's just what we do. Longman, I'm not his favourite supporter, but wow, what a goal. What a goal. And that's what we need, someone to do something like that, because we ain't going to score goals from, keeping the ball and, slicing defences open. And we need something like that. And boy, what a goal that was. Massive mention to Billy Mitchell. He covered every blade of grass tonight, and he worked so hard. And that save at the end was from the header off the off the lot of his own line, which is it's worth more than a goal, isn't it? Really, he was brilliant today, and everyone, from the beginning, you see the team come out. It was like, what is Harris thinking? you got me in this mess, you can get me out of it. And I think maybe he's done that tonight. He's gone out there and said, right, you proved me wrong. I can make changes now. And he didn't. He kept the same team, and all credit to him. They battled hard. Did Leicester really slice us open? Not really. That's the most frustrating thing. There's a team there. We are in a hard team to beat, and the tactics were spot on tonight. And I think that's probably what he was doing the last two games. Keep it tight, and then score a goal. I don't know how, but we did. And a massive, massive kudos to Esse come on. Not an easy game to come on, and wow, he done so well, didn't he? He was brilliant. From a guy that's not been playing regularly, he's come on and done so well. He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Hopefully he can look at that and kick on from now, because that guy, everyone's talking about him, but we've never seen him. And to come out and be in a game like that, and a very high, a very scary game to come into as a youngster, and he was brilliant tonight. And I can't fault anyone. I thought everyone played well tonight. Danny Mack was good left side. It's not his natural position, but he played well. He played well. Everyone played well. They all done well tonight, and as usual, all frustrated because we could have been out of sight now and been comfortable, but it's just the Millwall way of just making it. Maybe Cav and I had a little chat to RS and said, "Hang on, mate, don't keep us up too much, because we want the fans to come back and make it a bit more exciting towards the end of the season." Maybe I'm being silly now, but we could have been out of sight if we'd have had those games, taken points off the away teams. But we are where we are, and it keeps it more interesting. But we could have done without that now, and we could have hopefully bring some youngsters through, in the less scary games towards the end of the season if we would have been out of sight. But we're not now. We're still in it, and we're not out of it woods by no means. But what a win! I'm so pleased for everyone, and we can hopefully start looking up instead of down now. But there's a long, long way to go, and Honeyman, I've got a feeling he's going to be out for a while with his shoulder. Hopefully not, because he battled well, and to come, if he has done his shoulder in, to still carry on, well done, mate. But nice to see Bradshaw up there. He always going to have a runner up there, and we need players like that back. But it's a win, but we shouldn't be in this situation. We shouldn't be in this situation, but we are, and that's what we do. But anyway, well chuffed tonight. So pleased. We're still in it, and we're not, cut a jiff, put it that way. So I'm going to enjoy my night. You too, mate, and look forward to hearing everyone else's comments. We're in a lot better place than we was. So thanks, matey. Take care. See you soon.
Nick, Matt Richards. Fucking hell. What a club. What a game. What does it do to us, eh? Unbelievable. I never saw that coming. I was just dreading turning up tonight. It seems like a lot of people did as well, because they didn't turn up, did they? Because the ground was half empty. But anyway, never mind that. Wow, what a performance. What a result. Boy, did we need that. We all needed that. Club, players, coaches, us, fans as well, because it's been fucking tough. What a great performance. We just seemed to be on it from the start. I know it's a cliche, but we did. Some tidy moves and getting the ball forward, and there's that chance which Longman had in the header early on, and yeah, it was just a really well controlled performance. We sat tight in, but we were, they played it through the channels, and I think that's the right thing to do. Yeah, we have to play on a counter attack against a team like Leicester. We're going to hold the ball and come at us. And but I thought we played it quite well. Obafemi did really well. He put himself about a lot more than I think I've seen in other games. So I was really pleased with that. He's using his body well, and there's some decent moves in the first half, and I was really, really pleased with it, really. And then the second half, Longman, fucking hell, what a goal! What a goal to score, and take back. Loads of people have been fairly critical. I've been fairly critical of him. Definitely his best game in the Millwall shirt. Whether he was man of the match, I don't know, because boy, there were some other contenders out there. I'd say Sav and Benny Mitch were just incredible. I mean, I'm a Casper Denor fan, but they play like that. Casper Denor's not going to get in the team because they were everywhere, biting, snapping, breaking up play, passes here, just superb. And Billy was, he was playing some ball sport as well in the first half as well. So fair play to him. And at the end, I mean, boy, if we stay up, that's going to be something imprinted in our history, that clearance off the line, because it was just incredible. I know everyone thought it was in, but it was just a great performance and a great night. I kind of, you see Honeyman went off, and the difference, SA was brilliant. He makes a difference to the team because it gives us that pace, that creativity. He can beat players. We've got nobody else like that in the team. If you've got someone like that in the team, particularly in the second half, but start him as well, then that's going to worry defences. He can do stuff which Honeyman. I like Honeyman. Honeyman's a tidy player. He gets stuck in, but he can't do what Romain Esse can do. Nobody else in the squad can do what Romain Esse can do. So we have to find a place for someone like that in the team. Would he have come on if Honeyman had stayed fit? Nah. There you go. We won't know the answer to that, will we? Who cares anyway? So, great 3 points. Yeah, sure. Gutting that after 2 shit results, we come and do that. It's just, the cliche typical Millwall. There you go. Millwall-ness and all of it. They're wrapped up in a few games. So now, what happens now? Today's win is nothing unless we can get 3 points on Saturday. 3 points on Saturday, I think we'll be okay. But now we have expectation. We don't play well with expectation, so we need to change that. We need to change that badly. So anyway, well done to the boys. Well done to Neil. Well done to everybody. Come on, you Lions.
Hello, Nick. Tony Monday. I should ring in because it seems like I only ring in when we lose to moan. So I thought I'd ring in after a win. Good win. It is a good win. It's a good result against league leaders. But I expected to beat them more than I expect to beat Cardiff Saturday, just because of the style that they play. As in, we knew Leicester would come at us and try and break us down, where Cardiff won't. We just did what we did. We said the other day, are we gonna play for 5-0 or going to try and win the 2 games that we needed? And it's obvious we are going to play the 5-0. So it was no surprise the team selection. Well, the only surprise was that Hutchinson wasn't in for Cooper. We knew we were going to go for the 0-0, so Mitchell and Sav were always going to stay in the middle. And we just did what we did. The first half was just what I expected, and I think what everyone expected. We just shut up shop, made it ugly, made it difficult for them. They hated it, by the way. Leicester, you can tell they're a typical Premier League side. Want time, want space, and they want those gaps and all that, and we just didn't give them to them. So the first half, it was. I just thought to say I didn't go last night. I know, I'm a season ticket holder. I chose to go up my dad's and watch it instead. I just couldn't be arsed. That's not a good sign, is it? But I couldn't be arsed. And we watched the first half, and I said to my dad, I think we'll hold on here, and we'll get the 0-0. And second half, Esse comes on for Honeyman and changes the game. All of a sudden, we've got someone with a little bit of quality on the ball, someone who can actually hold the ball and look comfortable with it for 2 seconds, or move it on quickly. And and that quick, all of a sudden we were sort of 10-15 yards further up the pitch for about 15 or 20 minutes. And that's when Longman, who put in a great shift, by the way, up and down and defending, and And he's doing, I think he's got unjust criticism in the fact that he's doing what he's being asked to do, and that's carry the ball, same as Watmore, carry the ball from our half to the opposition half. And that's what he does, and that's what he's doing. But the finish was like a replica of the Rotherham goal, really. Probably looked better because it went in off the bar, it was higher. But yeah, and then after that, Essie's he's got that little bit of time on the ball, and he slid over Femi, who did brilliantly. What a great game he had as well. To beat the defender, hold him on. I mean, I don't know how he does it, the size of him, but he's held the defender up, and he's just falling over as he got the shot, and it sort of come up the inside of his big toe rather than the instep. I thought it was really unlucky. I thought we had a great game, along with Leonard. And they all played well, because they all gave 100%, as they do. And that's what Harris does get out of the team. And I don't think he hasn't in any game he's been back. We're criticising the results. I'm seeing people saying, oh, why can't we play like that? But we played exactly the same as we did against Rotherham and against Huddersfield. The only thing is, it looks like we're playing with more intensity because we're really on the back foot against Leicester, because they're coming at us, whereas Huddersfield didn't and Rotherham didn't. And that's the difference. We played exactly the same. The players have given the same. And listen, the sub, I mean, we won the game. The sub was enforced, wasn't it? Does Essie come on? If Honeyman don't get injured? Probably not. I'll say almost certainly not. If Watmore's on the bench, does Essie come on? Almost certainly not. So I think it was sort of enforced on him, and it worked brilliantly. It worked brilliantly. And I think he must start Saturday. Whether he does or not, I don't know. But again, we're going to play for another 0-0. I'd like to see us go all out attack Saturday, because we win that, and that's it. We're done and dusted. We're out. But I think we'll play the same, and Cardiff are not going to come at us like Leicester. So I think it probably could be a 0-0 or a 1-0 either way again. But yeah, they all put the 100% in, and I've got to spend someone I criticise constantly for the last 2 years, Billy Mitchell, and I thought that clearance up the line was incredible. And I mean, as I said, Harris cost us a point on Saturday. Billy Mitchell saved us 2 points last night with that. He's running back towards goal and basically under the bar. How he's done it, I have no idea. And all credit to the boy for that. Again, it don't change my opinion on him. It's just saying, like, if bad players do something good, you've got to credit them, and if good players do something bad, you've got to say that. You've got to say that it was bad. Again, you could comment on what happens in that moment. I don't think he's the future for us, because the game last night suits him down to the ground. And I don't want to get onto this Billy Mitchell bashing, because he's not. I thought he saved us 2 points last night. Yeah, I just thought all in all, it's what we expected. But it's not different from what people think. It wasn't, why can't we play like this every week? No, we did. We played exactly this, and there was no difference. It was just the fact that they came on us. It made it easy for us to set up in the blocks. There was no onus on us to attack. Essie gave us that outlet, and I thought he was excellent. What else is there? Yeah, there's so I think we'll play for the 4-0-0s. We just get a couple of draws, we'll be fine. As long as Plymouth don't beat us, that should be good enough for us. I can't see them getting many wins. We just need probably 2 or 3 more points, maybe. Yeah, I've seen the comments from Harris afterwards, and he's the same old fucking, like, the group. I couldn't believe he said, "Oh, the players," and I was right to pick this. And oh, hang on, you fucking arrogant bastard! Like, you're saying it's on you. You was right, but he didn't want to say he was wrong the other day. It's honestly, and just the other thing saying, "Oh, I've got no leaders." How does that? Like he said, this group, I've come in for a group with no leaders or something. How does that make Leonard, Saville, Hutchinson feel? Remember, he's the one who's making Cooper captain. So, and he said about the 3 transfer windows he's got. Oh, it's not for me, to be honest. It's just, I'm dreading it, because what's he going to do? What is he going to do? I'll tell you, his last 65 games in charge, which was from the beginning of the 18-19 season, played 65 games and scored 64 goals under him, less than one a game. We have won 30 out of 20. Hang on, it was 23. It was 27. 32 away games. His last 32 away games, we've won 4 under him. Yes, he gets a tune out of them at home, and he certainly does. And that's something Rowett didn't do. Rowett was trying to play this same game wherever we played. And that's he gets the players up, and as I said, he's got 100% out of them every game so far. And people say no, he hasn't, but just because the results are different doesn't mean he hasn't got 100% out of them. He has. We've played the same in every game, and as I said, with this style of football, we're playing for 0-0s. He's throw the dice up in the air, and his small margins. As I said the other day, some days he's going to work for us, some days he's going to work against us. I'll be there Saturday for Cardiff, and hopefully we can secure safety. But where we go from here onwards, again, I'm still really worried. Nothing's changed for me from my opinion of the other day. Nothing has changed at all. They need to clear out upstairs, clear out of the manager, and they need someone new in and clear out of some players and go in a direction which is a little bit progressive, because at the moment we are 5 years back down the line, and as I said, we can't play for 0-0s every week. It's fucking shocking, Nick. Right, I'll let you get on with your day. I don't want to go on too long today, but I've probably missed something out. But all in all, great result, massive relief. Well done to the manager and the 11 players who he's galvanised them. But he's got 11, so he's got 100% out of them every game, and they've given it all again last night. And we've made the Leicester side look pretty ordinary, really. See you later, Nick. Bye.
Achtung, Millwall.